Now in this video, what we're going to do is, it might run a smidge long, but the idea is to just show you how do we deal with it when we have variables on both sides and when we have to do collection and distributive property and all of that. Okay, so it's just folding everything in that we understand and we should know how to do from doing linear equations, and how does that apply to linear inequalities. And the short answer is it really doesn't change anything. We're gonna do everything pretty much exactly the way we've been doing it. Okay, so what we've done in the past is we have always collected like terms on each side before we start moving things over, so that you have like two clean terms, right? You have a variable term and a constant. So on the left side of this particular inequality, we've got 5w and plus 3, and that looks good. But on this one, we've got two variables, right? We've got 2w and 2w, and then we've got two constants. We've got positive 15 and negative 6. So it would make sense for us to kind of clean up this side. So we're going to do that first and add our variables together. So you have 2w and 2w. We're going to add those together, right? And that's going to give us 4w, not 2w like I started to write. And then we have plus 15 and minus 6. And if you add those together, you get positive 9. All right, and then we'll finish writing the rest of this out. Okay, so now, what we're going to do is we are going to pick a side for the variables to be on and pick a side for the constants to be on. And you know, the thing I try to impress to my students is I think it makes the most sense to always move the variable to the side where there's more, because when you do that, you're almost always dividing by a positive coefficient. And that's nice, you know, it is. It's one less thing to have to worry about, because there's plenty of things to worry about with these. So if we do that, okay, we're going to move this 4w over to that side, because there's 5 here, there's 4 here. So we're going to subtract 4w from both sides. All right, and that's going to give me 1w. So w plus 3 is greater than or equal to 9. And now I want to get the variable by itself. We subtract 3 from both sides. Okay, and then you get w is greater than 6. I don't have a final division step because my coefficient's already 1. So I'm kind of in good shape. If I make this 0, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, leave it like that, and it's greater than 6. So I'm going to put an open circle. All right, and we've discussed that, so we should hopefully understand that by now. When it does not have the line under it, that means it does not include the point. So you put a circle around it, all right, and then draw your arrow like that. All right, now this one is going to be kind of the same thing, except we have some distribution to do first, right? So let's remember what we do with distribution. Take this term outside the parentheses, and you multiply it by both of them, right, on the inside, and we're going to have to do that twice. So let's go ahead and do that. So negative 6 times negative 4 is going to give me positive 24, and then let's tack our v on, and then negative 6 times positive 3 gives me negative 18. All right, now let's do the same thing over here. We've got 2 times 10v is 20v, and then we have 2 times 3, which is plus 6, right? So we have both of our distributions happening. And so now what we'll do is we will pick our side to work with. So I think it would make more sense to move the variables over on this side, because we've got 24 here, we've got 20 here. So let's subtract 20v from that side, and then because we did it on one side, we'll do it to this side. And that gives me 4v minus 18 less than or equal to 6. Okay, now we're going to add 18 to both sides. Get that over there, and you get 4v is less than or equal to 24. We'll divide both sides by 4, and that is going to give me v is less than or equal to 6. All right, so we'll kind of do our 0 thing over here. 3, 4, 5. Move this thing up to 10 like that, right? My 6 is right here. We're going to have a filled dot because we've got the line there, the or equal, and it's less than. So we're going to run our arrow this way. Like I said, it's almost nearly impossible for me to draw straight lines on this thing. But that's the whole idea, right? It's running this way. There's your arrow. Looks good, all right? So deal with your distribution first. And then if there's any collecting like terms, you do that. We didn't have any of that on here. And then move things around. All right, these last two examples, I want you to pause the video. I want you to try these, okay? And then come back and we'll go through them. All right, so I'm assuming you tried these. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get rid of my parentheses. So we're going to have 5x minus 5, so I'm multiplying, right? And then we have plus 2 is greater than or equal to, multiply here, we have 2x plus 2. So before I can start moving things around, I want to clean this side up, so we just get it down to 2 terms. So we're going to have 5x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 2x plus 2. All right, so my next step, what we have is I am going to move the variables over to this side, and then we'll move the numbers over to this side. So we'll go negative 2x, negative 2x. It's going to give me 3x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 2 because these cancel. And then when you add 3 to both sides, you get 5. 3x is greater than 5. I'm going to write that up here. And my last step is to divide. And you get x is greater than 5/3. Okay, so if this is 0, right, this is 1, and this is 2, 5/3 would put me about right there. Okay, and we'll put an open circle right there. X is greater than that, and we'll run our arrow line. Oh, that was actually kind of straight that time. And that's what that looks like. Okay, so just understanding how that fraction works. If you don't know what that means, put 3 into 5. You get it goes in 1 time without going over. You have 2 left over, so it's 1 2/3. So it's 2/3 of the way between 1 and 2. Right. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense to you. All right. Now on this one here, we're going to do our distribution. All right. So negative 5 times 3d gives me negative 15d. And then negative 5 times negative 7 gives me positive 35, which is greater than 3 times 2d is 60, and then 3 times 14 is plus 42. All right, so I've got negative 15d and positive 6d. 6d is bigger than negative 15, so I am going to move my variables over on this side at this time. So let's add 15d to both sides, plus 15d. So this gives me greater than or equal to 21d plus 42. We have 35 here. Now let's subtract 42 from both sides, and you get 21d. In this case, it's less than because I'm reading it backwards, right? You get negative 7 over here. Okay, so 42 minus 35 is 7. The absolute value of each, this one's larger, which means that this gets to keep the sign, negative 7, right? So now our last step is to divide by positive 21, and you're going to get d and negative 1/3. And what this says is d is less than negative 1/3. So you got to read it in this case from right to left. Okay, so if this is 0 and this were 1, negative 1/3 would put me about right here, right? And so I'm going to use an open dot, right, because we don't have the line, and then it's less than. So we're going to all values to the left there. All right, I hope these are starting to make some sense, and I hope the videos are helping you out a little bit, and good luck on your practice with this.